Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Rasmussen, who is your teacher and my granddaughter, has asked me to say a few words about Memorial Day. I'm sure that you are aware that what we now call Memorial Day was first celebrated as Decoration Day and began in the late 1860s, soon after the Civil War. At that time, the celebration was held on the 1st of May and was a day of family gatherings, of cleaning of the graves of family members and friends who had given their lives in the war. Often there were potluck dinners, religious services to honor the dead and to remember that freedom is not free, but is given to us by the sacrifice of those who serve in our military. Some served and returned and lived out their lives. I'm sure that you know parents or grandparents or aunts or uncles or cousins or somebody who has served in the military. But some did not return, and it is they whom we honor at Memorial Day. Since 1971, Memorial Day has been observed on the last Monday of May and has become the unofficial start of summer with barbecues, blockbuster movie openings, and mattress sales. America has had many wars. The Revolution from England, the war between the North and the South, which we call the Civil War, the First World War with Germany, the Second World War with Germany and Italy and Japan, and following the Second World War, America was involved in a conflict with the communist nations led by Russia and China, and we sometimes call the Cold War. And it is during this period of time that the war in Vietnam took place. America was battling with the communists over Vietnam regarding whether it would be ruled by communist dictators or whether the Vietnamese would have freedoms much like we enjoy. I served in the United States Army Special Forces. Some called us the Green Berets. One of our jobs was to work with the mountain people, or Montagnards, who were somewhat like our own Native American tribes were at one time. They lived in primitive villages in grass huts. They did a little farming and hunted to survive. The communists would go into their area and herd them up, taking the men and making them fight for the communist Vietnamese army, and making slaves out of the women and old folks and children. We went into the same area and offered to move them into larger villages which were guarded by special forces and by Vietnamese whom we had trained. We dug water wells for them, gave them pigs and chickens and water buffalo, showed them how to make sanitary latrines, and hoped that we would convince them that the communists were bad and the life that we offered them was good, and they would choose that life. Part of what went on there was, I refer to as psychological warfare, and the Viet Cong, or the communists, were very good at psychological warfare. Let me tell you a little story about how they undid many months of our hard work. The communists caught the guards away from camp one day. They gathered all the people up into the town square and began giving speeches about how bad we were, how good they were. They even said that Americans eat babies. That, oh, this was terrible. They said, let us prove to you with your own eyes. The Americans have given you this food, which we call tomatoes. Now, if we were to open that can and pour the contents out, what would you expect to find in that can? And oh, sometimes they give you canned corn. And if you were to open that can up and pour the contents out, what would you expect to find? And sometimes they give you green beans. And if you were to pour the contents of that can out and pour it out, what would you expect to find? But I'm here to prove to you that the Americans eat babies. They gave you some of these jars. Look at the picture on that one. If I was to open that up and pour it out, what do you think would be in that jar? Not beans, not corn and not tomatoes, but a nice fat baby. Oh, good American food. Guys and gals, that's all I've got to say to you this morning. Just a little bit about, ooh, I didn't go into the pictures, did I?